Welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're doing something maybe a bit different. We're zoning in on the lyrics of just one song.
Yeah, it's called Fashion by the New York Models. It's from that Hi-NRG genre.
Exactly. High energy, often very direct themes. And our mission, basically, is to unpack what these specific words are doing. You know, the feelings, the ideas, and some really unique language choices in there.
It's amazing what you can find when you just focus on the lyrics, isn't it? How artists sort of bottle up emotions.
Definitely. So reading these, one thing just, well, hits you immediately. This intense focus on another person, the desire.
Oh, yes, I'm staying.
Lines like, I'm looking for a baby, or you're really so in style, and then just, boom, I want your love.
Right, super clear, no messing about. It's a declaration right from the start.
But then woven into that, you get maybe the most arresting phrase in the whole thing.
You mean your love is really bad in fashion?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That stops you, doesn't it? Bad in fashion. What does that even mean?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Is bad, like, slang for good, or is it meant to be contradictory?
Suggesting maybe the love is unconventional, maybe even a bit detrimental.
Right. But at the same time, desirable. Like
Yeah.
high fashion cutting edge, exclusive, maybe even a little bit dangerous.
It's a really weird mix. What kind of love is that? Thrilling, but unstable, maybe?
Exactly. Coveted, but possibly not. Entirely healthy. It makes you think.
And it's not just stating the want. The lyrics also show the effect this person has.
Yeah, you get the outward stuff, like the way you move, the way you walk. It really blows my mind.
Standard admiration, kind of. But then it gets internal. Really internal.
You're the face in my heart, and my heart beats like drum.
See, it's not just observation. This person is like inside the speaker's world, affecting them physically, emotionally.
Yeah, an internal takeover. And that internal state leads to this really interesting paradox later on.
Ah, I'm your prisoner and captor. And it really isn't fun.
Right. How can you be both? Prisoner and captor.
And why isn't it fun if the desire is so strong? That's the kicker.
It suggests it's not just simple infatuation, is it? It hints at something more like obsession, maybe.
Where wanting someone intensely gets tangled up with feeling trapped by it, or maybe even wanting to control them.
Exactly. The lines get blurry. It points to a struggle or perhaps a dynamic that's, well, not entirely positive underneath all that passion.
And then there's that whole other layer, the fashion and modeling imagery. It keeps coming back.
Oh, definitely. They're the model in my dreams.
Right, and they're on the runaway of my heart. The show has just begun.
Even on the cover of my private magazine, and the only one on the features.
So these aren't just like casual comparisons.
Not at all. It elevates the person, doesn't it? It makes them seem almost unattainable,
Yeah.
idealized.
Like a supermodel. Someone you admire but maybe isn't quite real.
Precisely. And the speaker's own heart and mind become the stage or the publication for this person.
So the whole feeling is framed through display, admiration,
Yeah.
possessing something really coveted, even if it's just in their head.
Yeah, it's quite a powerful framing device.
So bringing it all together, all these feelings, the desire, the impact, that weird paradox, the idealization,
Yeah.
it all seems to circle back to that main phrase.
I want your love. Your love is really bad in fashion.
Yeah. It feels like the core of it. The song's unique way of capturing a feeling that maybe ordinary words just can't quite reach.
And I think that's what we get from digging into lyrics like this, right? You see how artists play with language.
They're not stuck with standard descriptions.
Exactly. They can blend concepts, love, obsession, fashion, confinement, whatever works, to create this kind of shorthand for really complex, messy feelings.
Feelings that are personal, contradictory.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
gives you a window into a very specific emotional state, one that's like intensely desirable, but also really complicated.
It's quite a mix, isn't it? That raw desire, the confusing parts, and all wrapped up in this glossy fashion world language.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. Think about how we describe the things we really, really want or maybe obsess over. How often do we borrow language from totally different parts of life?
Like comparing love to fashion, or maybe business or war.
Right. And what do those comparisons actually tell us? Not just about the thing we want, but about the nature of our wanting itself, something to chew on.